case we would have stopped at any point of time, we knew that we would have been the pinpoint target for them. Either we would have been there or they would have been there. We had already decided our success signal before advancing for the attack, and it was like Bravo company's success signal, "Oye Aaya," which was passed to our CEO Colonel Joshi on the radio set. After the another bunker was captured, my company's success signal was "Ye dil mange more." The guys were so highly charged up that they're wanting that some more bunkers should have been there, and we would have got the more chaps.
कैप्टन विक्रम को उनके दोस्त शेर शाह बुलाते थे। दुश्मनों की उन पर नजर थी।
They were on the same frequency which were we on our radio sets. And one of the Pakistani soldiers or officer, whoever it was, he said me, my code name was Sher. "Oh Sher, you have come. Don't try to come up, otherwise you'll have a tough time." And that was the time they gave us a challenge. And my guys, they went wild. How dare a Pakistani troop can challenge us?
कैप्टन विक्रम और उनकी पलटन का मिशन अभी पूरा नहीं हुआ था। विक्रम और उनके साथियों ने फिर से चढ़ाई की। जबरदस्त लड़ाई के बाद जीत मिली। पॉइंट 4875 पर तिरंगा लहराया। लेकिन जीत का जश्न मनाने के लिए कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा मौजूद नहीं थे।
I owe this capture point 4875 to Captain Vikram Batra of my battalion, who laid his life here for the capture of this feature.
When you go home, tell them of us. We gave out today for your tomorrow. What a beautiful thought to define the character of a true leader and army officer. I remember Vikram telling one of his friends when he went for the Kargil War, या तो तिरंगे में लिपट कर आऊंगा या तिरंगा लहरा कर आऊंगा, लेकिन आऊंगा जरूर. I would either hoist a tricolor or I would come back wrapped in it, but I would come back for sure. That's the steel what a leader is made of. It is 8 p.m. Captain Vikram Batra Mess, Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. And there's a lot of chatter and banter among the gentlemen cadets after a long, hard day of the training. And as they take their seats, the cutlery is in front of them. And while they get seated, there's complete silence. They wait and look at the captain's seat, which is at the center of the mess and is reserved for late Captain Vikram Batra, Param Vir Chakra. And only once the food is served at the captain's seat do the other gentlemen cadets can take their first bite. That's the legend of late Captain Vikram Batra, Param Vir Chakra, who even though now gone for 18 long years, still lives on in the hearts and minds of many he has inspired and continues to inspire. Ladies and gentlemen, true leaders are the people who live forever, and they continue to inspire the generations long after they're gone. Let me take you 30 years back to the year 1987. That was the time when owning a color television was not so common across. And we didn't have a black television at home either. Me and Vikram used to sneak out of our house every Sunday morning at 9:30 to one of the neighbors' houses to watch a very popular TV serial, Param Vir Chakra. I don't know how many of you would have watched the serial. Very beautiful, and it was typically on the brave and the life stories of all the 16 martyrs who had laid down their life and got the Param Vir Chakra after 1947. And that was possible when Vikram decided that in life, if it would do something, that would be only the armed forces. Leaders are the people who dream. And they dare to dream, and Vikram was no different. Absolutely, that was the time when Vikram decided that if he would do, he would only serve his motherland. But let me tell you, friends, dreams don't become a reality only by mere wishful thinking. Leaders become who they are because they plan, and they plan well in advance. And it's the mission of the future which guides them into creating a roadmap with clearly laid out milestones. It was the age of 19 when Vikram too was set out to achieve his dream by joining the National Cadet Corps at DAV College, Chandigarh. And this served as a beginning for what was to come at a later date. And Vikram was awarded the best cadet for 2 consecutive years in a row before leading a contingent of the NCC Directorate at Republic Day Parade in January 1994. That was the beginning. And soon after, Vikram joined Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, and the rest, they say, is a history. Life was different. And leaders believe that, yes, they have to plan if they have to move forward. Life wasn't easy either. And when Vikram decided to join the forces, he got into the academy. And life wasn't easy there either. He knew that he'll have to face many hardships before he becomes a true and an effective leader. Probably, I believe that leaders don't believe in the shortcuts. There are no quick fixes. Life wasn't easy at Indian Military Academy, which is one of the most finest military training academies in the world. A very stringent physical training schedule with long hours of the drill was followed by a very grueling commando course at the Commando School, Belgaum in Karnataka. And me and Vikram watched a very popular movie which was made on the commando training called Prahar. And the titled Prahar, but it featured Nana Patekar and Madhuri Dixit. And I still remember when Vikram came back after his commando, the first question what I asked Vikram was, is the commando course in reality exactly to what is being shown in the movie? And let me tell you, I still get goosebumps when I remember the sight of bruises what Vikram was carrying on his body post the commando training course. But Vikram knew that these are the small steps which are very critical for him to make him a very effective leader. Because there was no shortcut. There was no quick fix. There was no background. And that was the time when the Military Training Academy along with the Commando course got over, and Vikram's first posting came to Sopore. I don't know how many of you would have heard this place. Sopore is a part of district Baramulla in Jammu and Kashmir, and during those days in 98, 99, it used to be one of the worst affected militant-stricken area. And Vikram knew that while his training is over, but on-the-job training would continue. And among many things what Vikram perfected was the art of driving a gypsy with one hand and looking at the aim, shooting it with his AK-47 with his second hand which is out of the window. And that's what leaders believe, that they have to practice hard and they have to become better day after day. Leaders are the people, I believe, who finds ways and they overcome obstacles. Ways always exists. But the ability of a leader is to excise the leadership and excise the 6 inches between the 2 ears. That's important. Leaders are the people who know that the life would throw situations at them and they have to tackle the situations. Leaders are the people who know how to marshal their troops. They have to align the troops to themselves. And it was point 5140, which was the first mission which was given to Captain Vikram during the Kargil War in Dras subsector. And let me share with you, Dras is the second coldest inhabited place in the world. And you know that the enemy is sitting right at the top. You have to climb 16,000 feet at 70-degree angle. Enemy is firing the bullets and the shells and your life is at stake. That was the first test of leadership skill for Captain Vikram. And Vikram knew that in case he goes straight up, he would lose all his men. But Vikram believed that yes, he has all the potential, he's a leader, he has to lead from the front. And he regrouped all his men and clearly articulated his plan to his soldiers that he would walk in the front. And rather than going straight up, so that he and his people don't face the casualty, they decided to attack from the rear side without even knowing what's in store, because he knew nothing about the rear side, that how many enemy people are sitting there. And they went, attacked, and enemy was taken for a surprise. And they killed 6 of the Pakistani soldiers destroyed 2 bunkers, and the middle of the attack, Vikram got into a hand-to-hand combat. And even during the hand-to-hand combat, he killed 5 Pakistani soldiers. You know, but sometimes what happens that situation goes out of control. There are unforeseen situations which you are faced with. And as a leader, if you don't know how to face that situation, it becomes difficult for the troop. It becomes difficult for a leader to lead. The life was mocking at them. But Vikram was a leader who could still find out humor. He thought, okay, I don't have a control now. The enemy has done a repulsive attack. What should I do? So he mocked at the situation. And he thought, let me take the best out of this. And you saw the video when he was going up again. His radio set was intercepted by one of the Pakistani soldiers who challenged him. And he tells him, hey Sher Shah. Sher Shah was his code name. Hey Sher Shah, you've come up. Don't come up or you'll have a tough time. And that was the time when Vikram thought, how can a Pakistani challenge me? And I believe true leaders are the people who challenge themselves. They accept the challenge. It's not an easy task. And they challenge themselves emotionally. The leaders challenge themselves intellectually as well as physically. And that was the time when Vikram replied back to this Pakistani soldier that we would see in the next 1 hour who stays on the top. And during this course of interception by the enemy through the radio set, the Pakistani soldier said, you know, we are going to beat you. We're going to throw you back. And we will take away one of your most famous Bollywood heroines. And that was the time when Vikram said, not on. And he attacked so ferociously that he destroyed all the bunkers. And before they could hoist a tricolor on the peak, Vikram lobbed a hand grenade very softly and said, to all of you with love from Madhuri Dixit. Right? So that's the time when Vikram's success was soaring. But leaders are the people who don't get overawed by success. He was the first, captain in the battlefield. He was the first lieutenant in the battlefield who was elevated to the rank of a captain. And he was recommended for a Param Vir Chakra, which happens to be the second highest gallantry award. But Vikram knew that he has a mission to achieve. It's just the first milestone. And when he radioed his message to the commanding officer, Ye dil mange more, that only meant that he still has a hunger, and that's what the leaders are made of, because leaders don't rest. They don't retreat. They have a hunger to achieve the success, and they want to complete the journey. That's what leadership is all about. And it was the same time when Vikram thought that he would not retreat back, because there's still an objective in front of him. He absolutely created the environment, and he decided that he would go for a second attack. And leaders are the people who set the tone. Leaders know that they have a people on the right, they have a people on the left, but in case the situation warrants, they will have to sacrifice themselves rather than sacrificing the lives of their people. That's what the leaders are made of. Leaders take charge. Leaders are the people who make the delta change. And it was the same time when Vikram decided to go up for mission 2, which was 0.4875. One of his fellow soldiers, Lieutenant Naveen, was hit with a bullet on the ankle, and he was grievously injured, and he was shouting for help. And then Vikram stepped out of the bunker, and Vikram was about to rush to save him when one of the Subedar Major Raghunath Singh told Vikram, sir, there's a heavy firing, life is at risk, you should not go up. And Vikram tells him, Sahab, dar gaye kya? Are you scared? To which Subedar replied, Sahab, jab aap saath hain to dar nahi lagta. When you're leading the charge, we're not scared. But I have a family. And Vikram realized that this man has a family. And Vikram told him, tu baal bachedar hai na? You have a family and kids at home. You stay back and I'll go up. And Vikram took out his AK-47, went out firing, and he ensured that he gave a cushion to Lieutenant Naveen, pulled him back and pushed him back to the bunker without even worrying for his own safety. And again he got into a hand-to-hand combat where he killed 5 Pakistani soldiers. But unfortunately, he was hit by a sniper. And he laid down his life there on the spot. But he ensured that his comrade is put to the safety. That's what leaders are made of. That's what leadership is all about, because leaders believe that in case they have to actually walk in the front, and if somebody has to go into the line of fire, it's themselves. And of late, I must share this incident with you that I met Lieutenant Naveen and his family who lives in Bangalore during the Golden Jubilee celebrations of 13 Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. That's the regiment to which Vikram belonged. And it was almost after 17 years that Lieutenant Naveen's daughter, who's aged 12 years, walked up to me. And she tells me, Vikram sir led by an example. He saved my father's life. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this girl was born much after the Kargil was over. And she had never seen Captain Vikram Batra, she had never met him. But she so deeply reveres him. That was the indomitable spirit of Captain Vikram Batra, and that's what the indomitable spirit a leader lives with. Because leaders don't believe in the titles. They don't believe in the ranks. Leaders are the people who believe in action, and that was what Vikram was made of. And hence, he was awarded with the highest gallantry award in India, which is Param Vir Chakra. Thank you. Jai Hind.